In the vast archipelago of the Hoenn region, where emerald waters lap against pristine shores and ancient secrets slumber beneath volcanic peaks, there exists a world of wonder that has captivated hearts for generations. This tropical paradise, suspended between the realms of land and sea, harbors creatures of extraordinary beauty and mystery, each one a living testament to the delicate balance that governs all life. The Hoenn region stretches across countless islands, each one unique to the delicate balance that governs all life. The Hoenn region stretches across countless islands, each one unique in its geological composition and the life it sustains. The very foundation of this region tells a story that spans millions of years, shaped by the eternal dance between Kyogre, the ancient guardian of the seas, and Groudon, the primordial titan of the land. Their legendary conflict, now relegated to the whispered tales of elders and the dusty tomes of researchers, carved the distinctive landscape that defines Hoenn today. Among the gentle rolling hills and crystal clear lagoons of this region, one discovers Pokémon that seem to embody the very essence of their tropical home. Take, for instance, the remarkable Treecko, a small gecko-like creature whose vibrant green coloration mirrors the lush canopies it calls home. These nimble beings possess an almost supernatural ability to scale any surface, their tiny feet equipped with microscopic hooks that allow them to walk effortlessly up glass walls or hang inverted from the smoothest branches. The calm determination in a Treecko's large amber eyes reflects an inner strength that belies its modest size. When a Treecko evolves into Grovyle, its connection to the forest deepens profoundly. The sleek, each bipedal Pokémon move through dense woodland with the grace of shadows, their blade-like leaves capable of cutting through thick vines with surgical precision. The transformation from the patient Treecko to the swift Grovyle represents more than mere physical change. It embodies the transition from careful observation to decisive action, a philosophy deeply rooted in the natural rhythms of Hoenn's ancient forests. The final evolution, Sceptile, stands as a magnificent testament to the power that lies dormant within even the smallest seed. These towering grass-type Pokémon possess an almost mystical bond with plant life, able to sense the health and vitality of entire forest ecosystems through subtle vibrations in the earth. Their tail leaves, sharp as the finest blade and resilient as living wood, contain nutrients that can accelerate plant growth when shed naturally. In the deep groves of Petalburg woods, where sunlight filters through layers of emerald canopy, Sceptile move like ancient guardians, their presence bringing peace to all woodland creatures. Equally fascinating are the fire-type Pokémon native to Hoenn, beginning with the spirited Torchic. These small, fluffy creatures radiate warmth not just from their internal flame, but from their inherently cheerful disposition. A Torchic's body temperature remains consistently higher than that of most Pokémon, and their soft, downy feathers provide insulation so effective that they can maintain their comfort even in the cooler mountain regions of Hoenn. The flame sac within their belly burns with a steady, controlled heat that grows stronger with age and experience. The evolution to Combusken marks a remarkable transformation in both physical capability and temperament. These martial artist Pokémon develop powerful legs capable of delivering kicks that can shatter stone, while their flame burns hotter and more intensely. The distinctive crest atop a Combusken's head serves not merely as decoration, but as a sophisticated temperature regulation system, helping to manage the increased heat production that comes with their enhanced fire abilities. Their fighting spirit emerges during this stage, though it remains tempered by the gentle nature inherited from their Torchic days. Blaziken, the final form in this evolutionary line, represents the perfect fusion of fire and fighting prowess. This majestic Pokemon can leap over 30-story buildings in a single bound, their powerful leg muscles generating enough force to create small craters upon landing. The flames that dance around their wrists burn at temperatures exceeding 1500 degrees, yet they possess such precise control that they can warm a chilled berry without singeing its delicate skin. In the volcanic regions near Lava Ridge Town, Blaziken are sometimes glimpsed, silhouetted against the orange glow of lava flows, their own flames creating a mesmerizing display against the darkening sky. The water-type starter of Hoenn, Mudkip, embodies the gentle yet persistent nature of water itself. These small, amphibious Pokemon possess an extraordinary sensory ability through the fin on their head, which can detect the slightest changes in water and air currents. This natural radar system allows them to navigate murky waters with ease and sense approaching weather patterns hours before they arrive. The cheerful gurgling sounds that Mudkip make are not mere vocalizations, but complex communications that can convey detailed information about water quality, temperature, and the presence of other aquatic life. As Mudkip evolves into Marshtomp, it gains the ground typing that reflects its increasing connection to the muddy shores and wetlands it inhabits. These robust Pokemon can live comfortably both in water and on land, their skin secreting a protective film that prevents dehydration while maintaining the moisture necessary for their amphibious lifestyle. The powerful fins on their tail and arms allow them to swim upstream against the strongest currents, while their sturdy legs enable them to traverse muddy terrain that would trap other creatures. Swampert, the magnificent final evolution, stands as one of nature's most perfectly adapted creatures. These powerful Pokemon can detect approaching storms through subtle changes in atmospheric pressure, often seeking shelter hours before the first drops of rain fall. Their incredible strength allows them to move boulders weighing several tons with ease, and they often reshape riverbanks and coastal areas to create ideal habitats for smaller water-type Pokemon. The thick, bluish hide of a Swampert provides excellent protection against both physical attacks and temperature extremes, while their keen eyesight remains sharp even in the murkiest water. Throughout the diverse ecosystems of Hoenn, one encounters Pokemon that seem perfectly crafted for their specific environments. The delicate Beautifly, with wings that shimmer like stained glass windows, feeds on the sweet pollen of flowers that bloom only in Hoenn's unique climate. Their proboscis, curled neatly when not in use, can extend to remarkable lengths to reach nectar hidden deep within trumpet-shaped blossoms. The intricate patterns on their wings are not merely decorative. They serve as a complex form of communication, with subtle color variations conveying information about food sources, territory boundaries, and mating availability. In stark contrast, the imposing Dustox emerges under cover of darkness, their nocturnal nature perfectly suited to Hoenn's warm, humid nights. These moth-like Pokemon are drawn to artificial lights with an almost hypnotic fascination, but in their natural habitat, They navigate by the gentle glow of bioluminescent fungi and the soft phosphorescence of certain coastal minerals. Their toxic powder, while dangerous to predators, serves an important ecological function by enriching soil composition and promoting the growth of specific plant species that have evolved alongside these remarkable creatures. The ancient Nosepass, found primarily in the magnetic caves scattered throughout Hoenn, represents one of the region's most intriguing geological mysteries. These living compass Pokémon align themselves with magnetic north with such precision that early explorers used their positioning to navigate through treacherous cave systems. The magnetic field generated by their body is so strong that it can interfere with electronic equipment, yet somehow never disrupts the delicate magnetic sensors of other Pokemon. Their diet consists primarily of iron-rich minerals, which they slowly absorb through their rocky exterior, a process that can take several hours for a single meal. In the deeper waters surrounding Hoenn's islands, the graceful Wailmer glides through azure depths with surprising agility for creatures of their size. These gentle giants can hold their breath for extended periods, sometimes remaining submerged for over an hour while feeding on microscopic plankton and small schooling fish. Their joyful nature is evident in their playful breaching behavior, where they launch their considerable bulk entirely out of the water in displays of pure exuberance. The rounded shape of their body is perfectly designed for efficient swimming, with minimal drag, allowing them to reach impressive speeds despite mass. The evolution into Wailord creates one of the ocean's most magnificent sights. These colossal Pokémon, often called the float whale Pokémon, possess an internal buoyancy system so sophisticated that they can adjust their depth with remarkable precision. Their massive size serves multiple purposes in the marine ecosystem. Their presence creates currents that distribute nutrients throughout the water column, while their gentle movements help oxygenate vast areas of ocean. The low-frequency calls of Wailord can travel for hundreds of miles underwater, serving as a communication network that connects pods across the entire Hoenn Archipelago. The mysterious Spoink bounces eternally through Hoenn's grasslands, their perpetual motion driven by an internal pearl that regulates their psychic abilities. This constant bouncing is not merely a quirk of their nature, but a fundamental requirement for their survival, as the rhythmic movement helps circulate the psychic energy that flows through their compact bodies. The pearl atop their head grows more luminous with age and experience, developing intricate patterns that reflect the depth of their psychic mastery. In the wild, groups of Spoink create mesmerizing displays as they bounce in synchronized patterns across meadows, their pearls creating cascading waves of soft, pearlescent light that can be seen from great distances during twilight hours. The transformation into Grumpig brings with it a profound change in behavior and capability, as these pig-like Pokémon develop the ability to manipulate their psychic powers with extraordinary finesse. Their large, expressive eyes can perceive psychic auras invisible to most other creatures, allowing them to sense emotions and intentions from remarkable distances. The black pearls that adorn their bodies serve as amplifiers for their mental abilities, each one carefully cultivated over years of meditation and practice. Deep within Hoenn's ancient caves, the enigmatic Lunatone drifts silently through chambers that have remained unchanged for millennia. These crescent-shaped Pokémon are believed to have fallen from space during meteor showers, their rocky composition containing trace elements not found naturally on the planet's surface. Their red eyes glow with an inner light that intensifies during the full moon, creating an otherworldly ambiance in the caverns they inhabit. The levitation ability of Lunatone appears to be connected to lunar phases, with their floating becoming more effortless and graceful as the moon waxes toward fullness. Their counterpart, Solrock, embodies the fierce energy of the sun, their golden surfaces absorbing and storing solar radiation throughout the day. These star-shaped Pokémon can generate intense heat when threatened, but in peaceful moments, they provide gentle warmth to other cave-dwelling creatures during cool mountain nights. The relationship between Lunatone and Solrock represents one of nature's most beautiful examples of celestial balance, with the two species often found in proximity, their opposing energies creating a harmonious equilibrium in their shared habitat. The elusive Barboach navigates Hoenn's muddy river bottoms with remarkable sensitivity, their whisker-like barbels detecting the slightest vibrations in the water. These catfish Pokémon have adapted perfectly to life in murky conditions, using their enhanced sensory capabilities to locate food and avoid predators in environments where vision is nearly useless. Their slimy coating serves multiple purposes, providing protection against parasites while also making them incredibly difficult for predators to grasp. During dry seasons, Barboach can burrow deep into riverbed mud, entering a state of dormancy that allows them to survive until the rains return. The evolution into Whiscash brings with it an almost supernatural ability to predict seismic activity, with these large catfish Pokémon becoming increasingly agitated hours or even days before earthquakes occur. Local communities have learned to observe Whiscash behavior as an early warning system, their thrashing and restless movements serving as nature's own seismic alert. The powerful tail fin of Whiscash can create tremors when slammed against the ground, and in territorial disputes, these vibrations serve as both warning and demonstration of strength to potential rivals. In the scorching desert regions of Hoenn, the resilient Cacnea stands motionless for hours, conserving precious moisture, while their thick, waxy skin prevents water loss in the harsh environment. These cactus Pokémon have developed an intricate root system that can extend far beyond what their compact size might suggest, allowing them to tap into underground water sources that sustain them through extended droughts. Their flower, which blooms only under specific conditions of temperature and humidity, releases a sweet fragrance that can attract prey from considerable distances. The transformation into Cacturne occurs only in the harshest desert conditions, where the extreme environment triggers a dramatic metamorphosis. Thus, scarecrow-like Pokémon become masters of desert survival, capable of remaining completely still for days while waiting for unwary travelers to pass within striking distance. Their ability to blend seamlessly with the desert landscape is so complete that even experienced desert guides can walk within feet of a Cacturne without detecting its presence. The melodious Swablu brings music to Hoenn's mountain peaks, their cotton-like wings producing gentle humming sounds as they glide through alpine air currents. These cloud-like Pokémon have an obsessive dedication to cleanliness, spending hours each day preening their fluffy feathers and removing any trace of dust or debris. Their wings are incredibly soft to the touch, with a texture so delicate that they're often compared to the finest silk. The evolution into Altaria creates one of the sky's most graceful residents, their expanded wings, allowing them to soar at altitudes where few other Pokemon can survive. The haunting melodies produced by Altaria can carry across vast distances in the thin mountain air, creating ethereal songs that echo through valleys and canyons. These dragon-type Pokemon possess an innate understanding of air currents and weather patterns, often serving as harbingers of changing atmospheric conditions. The fierce Zangoose prowls through Hoenn's forests with predatory grace, their razor-sharp claws leaving distinctive marks on trees that serve as territorial markers. These cat-like Pokemon possess reflexes so quick that they can dodge attacks that appear to be unavoidable, their lithe bodies moving with liquid fluidity through dense underbrush. The crimson markings on their fur become more pronounced during moments of intense emotion or combat readiness, serving as a visual indicator of their internal state. Their eternal rivalry with Seviper has shaped both species over countless generations, each developing specialized abilities and techniques designed to counter their nemesis. The coiled Seviper responds with equal intensity, their serpentine form allowing them to strike from unexpected angles with lightning speed. The blade-like tail of Seviper contains a complex venom delivery system, with different toxins produced depending on the threat level they perceive. These snake Pokemon can remain motionless for hours, their patience legendary among those who study predatory behavior in the wild. Within the depths of Hoenn's cavern systems, the mysterious corfish scuttles through underground waterways, their hardy nature allowing them to thrive in environments where other aquatic Pokemon would struggle. These freshwater crustaceans possess an remarkable adaptability, capable of surviving in waters with varying levels of salinity, temperature, and mineral content. Their powerful pincers can crush rocks and shells with ease, but they also demonstrate surprising dexterity when manipulating smaller objects or constructing elaborate burrows. The evolution into Groudon transforms these already formidable creatures into apex predators of their aquatic domain, their increased size and aggression making them feared throughout the waterways they inhabit. The star-shaped mark on Groudon's head is believed to be connected to their territorial instincts, growing more vivid and defined as they establish dominance over larger areas of their habitat. The ancient Baltoy spins endlessly through Hoenn's archaeological sites, their clay bodies bearing mysterious markings that predate recorded history. These top-shaped Pokemon appear to be guided by an intelligence that transcends individual consciousness, moving in patterns that suggest they're following instructions embedded in their very structure. The high-pitched whirring sound they produce while spinning creates a meditative atmosphere that has led some researchers to believe these Pokemon possess calming properties that affect both humans and other Pokemon. The evolution into Claydol reveals the true sophistication of these ancient beings, their enlarged form housing complex internal mechanisms that remain poorly understood despite extensive study. The floating ability of Claydol defies conventional understanding of physics, as their heavy clay construction should make levitation impossible, yet they glide through the air with effortless grace. The multiple arms of Claydol move independently, each following its own rhythm as they channel mysterious energies that seem to connect them to forces beyond the physical realm. Ancient civilizations revered these Pokemon as guardians of sacred knowledge, and even today, archaeologists report feeling a profound sense of peace when working near Claydol excavation sites. Their eyes, arranged in a distinctive pattern around their spherical body, are said to see through dimensions beyond human perception, observing layers of reality that remain invisible to most living beings. Deep within Hoenn's mountainous regions, the gentle Phoebus swim through murky waters with quiet determination, their humble appearance concealing one of nature's most remarkable transformation stories. These fish, Pokemon, demonstrate extraordinary resilience, thriving in polluted or neglected waterways where other aquatic species cannot survive. Their ability to find sustenance in the most challenging environments speaks to an inner strength that becomes magnificently apparent upon their evolution into the breathtaking Milotic. The transformation from Phoebus to Milotic represents one of the most dramatic metamorphoses in the Pokemon world, as if nature itself wishes to reward patience and perseverance with unparalleled beauty. Milotic's serpentine form moves through water with such grace that witnessing their swimming has been known to calm even the most agitated spirits, their scales shimmering with iridescent patterns that seem to capture and reflect the very essence of tranquility. The flowing tail fin of Milotic creates gentle currents that nurture aquatic plant life, transforming barren waterways into thriving ecosystems wherever they make their home. Local legends speak of Milotic appearing during times of conflict, their presence somehow inspiring peaceful resolution to disputes that had seemed irreconcilable. The soothing energy they emanate extends far beyond their immediate vicinity, with some researchers documenting measurable decreases in stress levels among both wild Pokemon and human populations in areas where Milotic are known to dwell. High above, in Hoenn's cloud-swept peaks, the cotton-like Swablu drift through mountain air currents with carefree abandon, their fluffy wings allowing them to ride thermal updrafts for hours without apparent effort. These charming bird Pokemon possess an almost compulsive need for cleanliness, spending considerable portions of their day preening their cloud-soft feathers and removing any particles that might disturb their pristine appearance. The cotton ball wings of Swablu are not merely decorative, but serve as highly sensitive atmospheric sensors, allowing them to detect subtle changes in air pressure, humidity, and wind patterns that help them navigate complex mountain weather systems. Their gentle nature makes them beloved companions to mountain travelers, as Swablu often approach humans with curious friendliness, their musical calls creating harmonious echoes that resonate through canyon walls and valley floors. The evolution into Altaria transforms these already graceful creatures into majestic dragons of the sky, their increased size and power matched by an even more profound connection to the atmospheric forces they navigate. The cloud-like wings of Altaria can span impressive distances, and their ability to soar at altitudes where the air becomes thin demonstrates remarkable physiological adaptations that allow them to thrive in environments hostile to most flying Pokemon. Altaria's song carries across vast distances, with some mountain communities using their calls as natural weather forecasting systems, as these dragon Pokemon seem to possess an intuitive understanding of approaching atmospheric changes. The humming melody they produce while flying creates a natural lullaby that drifts down to valleys below, often inducing peaceful sleep in both wild Pokemon and human settlements nestled in mountain hollows. Within Hoenn's mysterious caves, the psychic Spoink bounces endlessly on its spring like tail, the constant motion serving a vital biological function that keeps their heart beating steadily. These pig like Pokemon have developed a unique cardiovascular system that requires continuous movement to maintain proper circulation, making their perpetual bouncing not a choice, but a necessity for survival. The pearl atop Spoink's head grows larger and more lustrous with age, serving as both a focus for their psychic abilities and a measure of their mental development. The rhythmic bouncing creates a meditative pattern that seems to enhance their psychic capabilities, with each bounce generating small waves of psychic energy that ripple outward through their surroundings. The evolution into Grumpig brings greater control over these psychic forces, as their enlarged pearl allows for more sophisticated manipulation of mental energies. Grumpig's ability to store and release psychic power in controlled bursts makes them formidable opponents, but their true strength lies in their capacity for deep meditation and mental focus. The black pearls that adorn Grumpig's body serve as conduits for their psychic abilities, each one capable of channeling different aspects of their mental powers. These evolved Pokemon often retreat to quiet cave chambers where they can practice complex psychic techniques in solitude, their concentrated meditation sessions sometimes lasting for days without interruption. Through Hoenn's diverse ecosystems, the industrious Plusle and Minen work in perfect harmony, their complementary abilities creating synergistic effects that benefit entire Pokemon communities. Those electric mouse Pokemon demonstrate one of nature's most elegant examples of symbiotic evolution, as their opposing charges create a natural balance that enhances the electrical capabilities of both species. Plusle's positive charge generates uplifting energy that boosts the morale and performance of nearby Pokemon, while Minen's negative charge provides grounding stability that helps maintain emotional equilibrium in group settings. The cheerleading behavior exhibited by both species extends beyond mere encouragement, as their electrical discharges create complex energy fields that can actually enhance the physical abilities of Pokemon they support. When working together, Plusle and Minen can generate electrical phenomena that surpass what either could achieve individually, their combined output creating spectacular displays of controlled lightning that illuminate Hoenn's night skies. The friendship bonds these Pokemon form with their partners are remarkably strong, with documented cases of Plusle and Minen pairs remaining together for their entire lifespans, their electrical synchronization becoming so refined that they can communicate through subtle variations in their bioelectrical fields. In Hoenn's darker corners, the ghostly Duskull drift silently through abandoned buildings and forgotten places, their hollow eye sockets seeming to peer into realms beyond mortal perception. These skull-faced Pokemon serve as guardians of the boundary between the living world and whatever lies beyond, their presence often marking locations where the veil between dimensions grows thin. The bone-like mask that covers their face is not actually bone at all, but a specialized formation that allows them to interact with spiritual energies that remain invisible to most living beings. Duskull's ability to become completely invisible at will makes them effective protectors of sacred sites and ancient burial grounds, where their vigilant presence ensures that rest remains undisturbed. The evolution into Dusclops reveals the true extent of their supernatural abilities, as their enlarged form can absorb virtually anything into the hollow void that serves as their body. The single eye of Dusclops burns with an otherworldly light that can see through any deception or illusion, making them invaluable allies for those seeking truth in situations clouded by mystery or misdirection. The strange energy that emanates from Dusclops affects electronic devices and mechanical instruments in their vicinity, often causing compasses to spin wildly and clocks to run backward, as if their very presence disrupts the normal flow of time and space. Despite their intimidating appearance, these ghost Pokémon often serve protective roles, watching over vulnerable locations and individuals with silent dedication that spans generations. Their connection to the spiritual realm makes them natural mediators between the world of the living and the mysteries that lie beyond, often appearing at moments when guidance from unseen forces becomes necessary. The electromagnetic disturbances they create are not random phenomena, but carefully controlled manifestations of their ability to manipulate the fundamental forces that bind reality together. In the depths of Hoenn's ocean trenches, the ancient Relicanth continues its eternal swim through waters that have remained unchanged for millions of years. This living fossil represents one of the most remarkable examples of evolutionary stability in the Pokémon world, having retained its basic form and characteristics for over 100 million years without significant alteration. The rock-hard scales that cover its body are composed of minerals that have been compressed and refined over geological timescales, creating a natural armor that can withstand the crushing pressures of the deepest ocean environments. Relicanth's ability to survive in such extreme conditions stems from its specialized physiology, which includes pressure-resistant organs and a circulatory system adapted to function under crushing depths that would destroy most other forms of life. The fat stored within Relicanth's body serves multiple purposes beyond simple energy storage, acting as a natural buoyancy control system that allows precise depth regulation and as insulation against the frigid temperatures of the deep ocean. Their diet consists primarily of microscopic organisms and mineral deposits found on the ocean floor, which they process through a unique digestive system capable of extracting nutrients from sources that other Pokémon would find completely inedible. The electromagnetic sensitivity of Relicanth allows them to navigate through the perpetual darkness of the deep ocean, using the Earth's magnetic field as a compass, following ancient migration routes that have remained unchanged since the continents themselves took their current form. These remarkable Pokémon possess an innate knowledge of oceanic currents and underwater geography that surpasses even the most advanced human understanding, making them living repositories of information about Hoenn's aquatic history and geological development. Soaring through Hoenn's azure skies, the elegant swallow represents the pinnacle of aerial grace and endurance among the region's flying Pokémon. The evolution from Tylo brings dramatic improvements in flight capabilities, with Swellow's streamlined body and powerful wing muscles enabling sustained flight at altitudes that would exhaust most other bird Pokémon. The distinctive red and blue plumage serves multiple functions beyond mere identification, with the coloration helping to regulate body temperature during high altitude flight and providing camouflage against both sky and earth when viewed from different angles. Swellow's dedication to their young is legendary among Pokemon researchers, with parent birds willing to dive bomb much larger predators to protect their nests, their fierce protective instincts overriding any consideration for their own safety. The territorial behavior of Swellow becomes most pronounced during breeding season, when pairs will defend vast aerial territories spanning several square kilometers, engaging in elaborate aerial displays that demonstrate their flight prowess to both rivals and potential mates. The migration patterns of swallow flocks follow ancient routes that connect different regions across the Pokemon world, with some populations traveling thousands of kilometers between their breeding and wintering grounds. These journeys require incredible endurance and navigation skills, with Swellow using a combination of celestial positioning, magnetic field detection, and landmark recognition to maintain their course across vast distances. The social structure within Swellow flocks is remarkably complex, with experienced individuals serving as leaders who guide younger birds along established flight paths and teach them the subtle art of reading wind patterns and weather systems. Their ability to predict changes in atmospheric conditions makes Swellow valuable partners for meteorologists and weather researchers, as their behavior often provides early warning of approaching storms or significant weather shifts. In Hoenn's wetland regions, the peculiar Ludicolo brings joy and celebration wherever its dancing form appears. The final evolution of the Lotad line represents a fascinating fusion of plant and animal characteristics, with its body incorporating both the aquatic adaptations of its water lily origins and the mobility and expressiveness of a dancing entertainer. The distinctive sombrero-like structure on Ludicolo's head is actually a specialized leaf formation that serves multiple biological functions, including photosynthesis, water collection, and acoustic amplification that enhances the musical qualities of its vocalizations. The rhythm and movement that define Ludicolo's behavior are not merely expressions of joy, but serve important ecological functions, with their dancing helping to aerate pond water and distribute nutrients throughout their aquatic habitats. The infectious enthusiasm of Ludicolo has a measurable effect on the Pokemon around them, with scientific studies documenting improved health and increased activity levels among Pokemon that regularly interact with dancing Ludicolo. The musical abilities of Ludicolo extend far beyond simple entertainment, as their songs can influence weather patterns and seasonal changes within their immediate environment. The complex harmonies they create when multiple Ludicolo gather together can induce rainfall during dry periods and encourage plant growth throughout their territory. Their connection to both water and plant life makes them natural guardians of wetland ecosystems, where their presence indicates healthy environmental conditions and balanced aquatic communities. The celebratory nature of Ludicolo serves an important social function within mixed Pokemon communities, helping to resolve conflicts and strengthen bonds between different species through shared musical experiences and synchronized movement. Deep within Hoenn's most remote forest clearings, the mysterious Ninjask demonstrates speeds that challenge the very limits of perception and measurement. The evolution from Nincada represents one of the most dramatic transformations in the Pokemon world, as the slow, underground dwelling larva becomes a creature of incredible velocity and aerial agility. The transparent wings of Ninjask vibrate at frequencies so high they become nearly invisible to the naked eye, creating the distinctive buzzing sound that often serves as the only indication of their presence. The speed at which Ninjask moves creates unique challenges for researchers attempting to study their behavior, as conventional observation methods prove inadequate for tracking creatures that can cross vast distances in mere seconds. Their incredible velocity is not merely a product of powerful flight muscles, but results from their ability to manipulate air currents and pressure differentials to achieve near frictionless movement through the atmosphere. The hunting strategies employed by Ninjask rely heavily on their speed advantage, allowing them to capture prey and evade predators through sheer velocity rather than stealth or camouflage. Their rapid movement creates microscopic pressure waves that they can use for echolocation and navigation, enabling precise flight control even when moving at speeds that would disorient other flying Pokemon. The social behavior of Ninjask involves high-speed aerial displays that serve both territorial and courtship functions, with individuals engaging in complex flight patterns that showcase their velocity and maneuverability to potential rivals and mates. The energy requirements for maintaining such incredible speeds necessitate an almost constant feeding schedule, with ninjas consuming vast quantities of tree sap and nectar to fuel their hyperactive metabolism. The unique evolutionary process that creates Shedinja from the discarded shell of Nincada represents one of the most enigmatic phenomena in Pokemon biology. This hollow shell somehow develops independent consciousness and supernatural abilities that defy conventional understanding of life and animation. The single eye visible through the crack in Shedinja's back is said to draw the soul from anyone who peers into it, though the exact mechanism behind this terrifying ability remains a mystery to researchers. The weightless nature of Shedinja allows it to float effortlessly through the air, despite lacking any visible means of propulsion, suggesting a connection to forces beyond the physical realm. The Wonder Guard ability that protects Shedinja from most forms of attack implies a fundamental alteration in how it interacts with physical reality, existing in a state between life and non-existence that grants unique defensive properties. The ethereal existence of Shedinja challenges our understanding of what constitutes life itself, as this hollow vessel maintains consciousness and purpose despite lacking the biological systems that typically sustain living creatures. The mysterious energy that animates Shedinja appears to originate from sources beyond the material world, creating a being that exists in the liminal space between the living and the spectral. The complete stillness that characterizes Shedinja's movement through the world reflects its disconnection from conventional physics, as it glides through environments without creating disturbances in air currents or leaving traces of its passage. The ancient folklore surrounding Shedinja speaks of souls becoming trapped within empty shells, suggesting that this Pokemon may serve as a vessel for consciousness that has become separated from its original form. The single opening in Shedinja's back serves as both its most distinctive feature and its greatest vulnerability, representing a window into the void that lies at the heart of its being. The protective shell that houses Shedinja's essence shows no signs of decay or deterioration despite being technically lifeless matter, preserved by the same mysterious forces that grant it animation and awareness. The relationship between Ninjask and Shedinja represents one of the most fascinating examples of divergent evolution in the Pokemon world, as a single evolutionary event creates two completely different forms of existence from one original creature. While Ninjask embodies pure speed and kinetic energy, Shedinja represents stillness and potential energy held in perfect suspension. The complementary nature of these two evolved forms suggests that the evolution of Nincada involves a fundamental splitting of its essential nature, with different aspects of its being manifesting in each resulting Pokemon. The rarity of Shedinja in the wild indicates that the specific conditions required for its creation occur only under very particular circumstances, making encounters with this mysterious Pokemon extremely uncommon. The legends that surround Shedinja often describe it as a guardian of forgotten places and lost memories, dwelling in locations where the boundary between worlds grows thin. The Trapinch line showcases another remarkable evolutionary journey within the Hoenn region, beginning with these small but tenacious antlion Pokemon that inhabit the shifting sands of desert environments. The powerful jaws of Trapinch can crush almost any substance, despite the creature's diminutive size and seemingly harmless appearance. These jaws continue to grow throughout Trapinch's life, becoming increasingly formidable as the Pokemon matures and prepares for its eventual evolution. The pit traps that Trapinch creates in sandy terrain demonstrate remarkable engineering instincts, as these conical depressions are precisely calculated to cause maximum instability for any creature that ventures too close to the edge. The patient hunting strategy employed by Trapinch requires incredible discipline, as individuals may wait motionless for days or even weeks for suitable prey to approach their carefully constructed traps. The underground burrows created by Trapinch serve multiple purposes beyond simple shelter, functioning as nurseries for young, storage areas for food, and complex tunnel networks that connect different hunting grounds. The evolution from Trapinch to Vibrava represents a dramatic transformation that mirrors the metamorphosis of real-world insects, as the ground-dwelling predator develops wings and takes to the skies. The delicate wings of Vibrava produce ultrasonic vibrations that serve multiple functions, from communication with other members of their species to disorienting prey and potential threats. The frequency range of these vibrations extends well beyond human hearing, creating complex acoustic landscapes that Vibrava use for navigation and territorial marking. The transition from a purely ground-based existence to aerial mobility requires significant physiological changes, as Vibrava must develop entirely new muscle groups and sensory systems adapted for three-dimensional movement. The hunting techniques of Vibrava combine elements inherited from their Trapinch ancestry with newly acquired aerial capabilities, allowing them to approach prey from unexpected angles and escape quickly when threatened. The social behavior of Vibrava involves intricate aerial dances that serve both courtship and territorial functions, with individuals using their wing vibrations to create complex harmonic patterns that convey information about their fitness and intentions. The final evolution to Flygon represents the culmination of this remarkable developmental journey, as these dragon type Pokemon achieve mastery over both earth and sky. The emerald coloration of Flygon's body provides excellent camouflage in the desert environments they call home, allowing them to blend seamlessly with the sparse vegetation and mineral deposits found in arid regions. The powerful wings of Flygon generate distinctive musical tones when flapped, earning them the nickname the mystic Pokemon of the desert among local populations. These melodic sounds can carry for great distances across the open desert, serving as a means of long-range communication between widely scattered individuals. The sandstorms that Flygon can create and control represent one of the most impressive displays of elemental mastery found in any Pokemon species, as they manipulate wind patterns and particulate matter to create massive weather phenomena. The protective goggles that naturally cover Flygon's eyes shield them from the abrasive effects of wind-borne sand and debris, allowing them to navigate and hunt effectively even during the most severe desert storms. The territorial behavior of Flygon involves the establishment of vast domains that may encompass hundreds of square miles of desert terrain, with individuals patrolling these areas using their superior flight capabilities and acute senses. The nesting habits of Flygon demonstrate remarkable adaptation to harsh desert conditions, as they construct elaborate burrows deep beneath the sand where temperature and humidity remain relatively stable throughout the day and night cycles. The diet of Flygon consists primarily of desert-dwelling Pokemon and the occasional oasis vegetation, though they have been observed traveling great distances to reach more abundant food sources during particularly harsh seasons. The migratory patterns of some Flygon populations follow ancient routes across the desert that have remained unchanged for countless generations, suggesting a deep connection to the geographical features and seasonal cycles of their environment. The relationship between Flygon and the desert ecosystem extends far beyond simple predator-prey dynamics, as these Pokemon play crucial roles in seed dispersal, soil aeration, and the maintenance of oasis ecosystems throughout their range. The powerful digging abilities inherited from their Trapinch ancestry allow Flygon to access underground water sources and create wells that benefit numerous other species during dry seasons. The complex social structure of Flygon communities involves hierarchies based on age, territory size, and flying ability, with elder individuals often serving as guides for younger Pokemon learning to navigate the vast expanses of desert terrain. The legendary status of Flygon in desert cultures reflects their importance as symbols of endurance, adaptation, and the harmonious relationship between creature and environment that characterizes successful desert dwellers. The evolutionary line of Flygon begins with Trapinch, a small but incredibly tenacious Pokemon that spends much of its life buried in sand, waiting patiently for prey to wander within reach of its powerful jaws. Trapinch's method of hunting relies on ambush tactics, using its ability to sense vibrations in the sand to detect approaching organisms. Despite their small size, Trapinch possess some of the strongest bite forces in the Pokemon world, capable of crushing even the toughest exoskeletons and shells. Their life underground provides protection from the scorching daytime heat and frigid nighttime temperatures of the desert, while also shielding them from aerial predators. The transformation from Trapinch to Vibrava represents one of the most dramatic metamorphoses in the Pokemon kingdom, as the ground dwelling hunter evolves into a graceful flying insectoid. Vibrava's wings produce ultrasonic vibrations that can disorient prey and even communicate with other Vibrava across long distances. The delicate appearance of Vibrava belies its resilience, as it can endure the harsh desert climate through a combination of efficient water retention and thermal regulation adaptations. The final evolution into Flygon marks the culmination of this evolutionary journey, resulting in a Pokemon perfectly adapted to dominate the skies and sands of its desert home. The Hoenn region's diverse ecosystems provide habitats for numerous other Pokemon species, each with unique adaptations and behaviors. Take, for example, the Lotad evolutionary line, which thrives in wetland environments. Lotad, with its lily pad-like body, floats peacefully on the water's surface, absorbing sunlight and nutrients through its leaf. The evolution into Lombre introduces amphibious capabilities, allowing this Pokemon to navigate both aquatic and terrestrial environments with ease. Ludicolo, the final form, exhibits a joyful demeanor and remarkable dancing abilities, often seen moving rhythmically to the sounds of rain or music. These Pokemon play vital roles in maintaining the health of wetland ecosystems, contributing to water purification and the dispersal of aquatic plant seeds. In contrast to the water-loving Ludicolo, the Aran family represents the rugged, mineral-rich, mountainous regions of Hoenn. Aran, with its metallic body, feeds on iron deposits found in caves and rocky outcrops. As it evolves into Lairan and then Agran, its armored plating becomes increasingly formidable, providing protection from predators and environmental hazards. Agran's territorial nature leads it to establish dominance over vast mining areas, where it can ensure a steady supply of the metallic resources it needs to maintain its body. The environmental impact of Agran populations is significant, as their mining activities shape the landscape and create habitats for other rock and steel-type Pokemon. The coastal areas of Hoenn host another fascinating Pokemon line, the Wingull family. Wingull, the small seagull-like Pokemon, can be seen gliding gracefully over ocean waves, using its keen eyesight to spot fish swimming near the surface. The evolution into Pelipper transforms this delicate seabird into a robust, cargo-carrying Pokemon capable of transporting items and smaller creatures across vast distances. Pelipper's large bill serves as both a fishing tool and a storage compartment, while its ability to predict weather patterns makes it a valuable companion for sailors and coastal communities. The symbiotic relationship between Pelipper and other marine Pokemon, particularly those that hitch rides in its bill, demonstrates the intricate connections within oceanic ecosystems. Moving inland to Hoenn's lush forests, we find the Treecko evolutionary line. Treecko, the small gecko Pokemon, exhibits remarkable climbing abilities, using the tiny hooks on its feet to scale vertical surfaces with ease. As it evolves into Grovyle and then Sceptile, its agility and connection to plant life become increasingly pronounced. Sceptile's tail serves as both a weapon and a sensory organ, capable of detecting minute changes in air currents and weather patterns. The ability of Sceptile to manipulate the growth of plants has made it a revered figure in forest communities, where it plays a crucial role in maintaining the balance between different plant species. The seasonal behaviors of the Sceptile line, particularly their responses to rainfall and sunlight, demonstrate their deep integration with forest ecosystems. Hoenn's volcanic regions provide a home for the Torkoal species, fire-type Pokémon known for their ability to generate intense heat from their shells. Torkoal's slow-moving nature belies its resilience, as it can withstand extreme temperatures and volcanic gases that would prove fatal to most other creatures. The steam vents on Torkoal's shell serve multiple purposes, including temperature regulation, communication, and even defense mechanisms against predators. In volcanic ecosystems, Torkoal play a vital role in soil enrichment, as their movements and heat emissions contribute to the breakdown of minerals and the creation of fertile ground for specialized plant life. The interaction between Torkoal and other fire-type Pokémon in these environments creates a dynamic balance, with each species adapting to coexist within the challenging conditions of volcanic habitats. The aquatic environments of Hoenn are home to the Wailord species, the largest known Pokémon and a gentle giant of the oceans. Wailord's immense size allows it to traverse vast distances, playing a crucial role in the migration patterns of various marine species. The unique anatomy of Wailord includes a specialized respiratory system that enables it to dive to great depths while maintaining efficient oxygen exchange. The social structure of Wailord pods demonstrates complex communication systems, with individuals using low-frequency sounds that can travel hundreds of miles underwater. The ecological impact of Wailord populations is significant, as their movements influence nutrient distribution and create pathways for smaller marine organisms to follow. In the dense jungles of Hoenn, the Tropius species thrives, combining elements of both plant and animal biology. Tropius's banana-like fruit provides sustenance for itself and other jungle dwellers, creating a mutually beneficial relationship within its ecosystem. The large leaves on Tropius's back serve multiple functions, including photosynthesis, temperature regulation, and even limited flight capabilities. The seasonal migrations of Tropius populations follow the availability of sunlight and rainfall, demonstrating their sensitivity to environmental changes. The role of Tropius in seed dispersal and forest regeneration highlights its importance as a keystone species in jungle habitats. The nighttime skies of Hoenn are illuminated by the glowing forms of the Lunatone and Solrock species, rock-type Pokémon associated with lunar and solar energies respectively. Lunatone's levitation abilities and psychic powers make it a mysterious figure, often associated with tidal patterns and nighttime phenomena. Solrock, on the other hand, draws energy from sunlight, storing it within its crystalline structure for use during periods of darkness. The celestial dance of these two Pokémon species has led to numerous legends and myths within Hoenn's cultures, often representing the balance between night and day, moon and sun. The geological composition of Lunatone and Solrock continues to fascinate researchers, as their origins remain shrouded in mystery. The diversity of Hoenn's Pokémon species is matched by the region's varied geography, from the underwater expanse of the abyssal ruins to the towering peaks of Matt Chimney. Each environment supports unique ecosystems, with Pokemon evolving specific adaptations to thrive in their particular habitats. The interconnectedness of these ecosystems demonstrates the delicate balance maintained by Hoenn's Pokemon populations, each species playing a role in the larger web of life. The study of these relationships continues to reveal new insights into evolutionary biology, ecological dynamics, and the intricate ways in which Pokemon shape their environments and are shaped by them in return. As we explore these fascinating creatures and their habitats, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity and beauty of the natural world as it exists in the Hoenn region. Moving further into the depths of Hoenn's aquatic environments, the Relicanth species stands as a living fossil, a testament to the ancient history of Pokemon evolution. Its sturdy, fish like body is covered in tough, scale like armor, a remnant of prehistoric times when the oceans were far more perilous. Relicanth's slow movements and low energy lifestyle allow it to conserve energy in the deep sea environments it calls home, where food sources can be scarce. Its ability to thrive in such extreme conditions has made it a subject of fascination for researchers studying the evolution of marine Pokemon. The discovery of Relicanth fossils has provided invaluable insights into the ancient ecosystems of Hoenn, revealing how much the region's underwater landscapes have changed over millennia. The symbiotic relationships between Relicanth and other deep sea Pokemon, such as Lantern, highlight the interconnectedness of oceanic life, even in the most remote and inhospitable environments. In the bustling coral reefs of Hoenn, the Corsola species adds vibrancy to the underwater world with its intricate coral like formations. Corsola's ability to regenerate lost parts of its body mirrors the regenerative capabilities of real world coral, making it a symbol of resilience in marine ecosystems. The delicate balance of Corsola populations is vital to the health of coral reefs, as they provide shelter and food for countless other marine species. However, Corsola's sensitivity to environmental changes, such as pollution and rising water temperatures, serves as a reminder of the fragility of these ecosystems. Efforts to protect Corsola habitats have become a priority for conservationists, as their decline would have cascading effects on the entire reef ecosystem. The interplay between Corsola and other reef-dwelling Pokemon, like Clamperl and Goribus, illustrates the complex web of life that exists beneath the waves. Hoenn's coastal regions are also home to the Wingull and Pelipper species, seabirds that glide effortlessly over the ocean's surface in search of food. Wingull's sleek design allows it to navigate even the strongest winds, while Pelipper's large beak acts as a natural storage pouch for carrying food and other items. These Pokemon play a crucial role in coastal ecosystems, helping to regulate fish populations and distribute nutrients across different areas. The migratory patterns of Wingull and Pelipper are closely tied to seasonal changes, with flocks moving between coastal and inland regions depending on the availability of resources. Their adaptability to both marine and terrestrial environments makes them a common sight across Hoenn, from the shores of Slateport City to the rivers near Fortree City. The harmonious coexistence of these seabirds with human settlements demonstrates the potential for balance between Pokemon and people. Transitioning to Hoenn's inland waterways, the Phoebus and melodic species embody the transformative power of beauty and care. Phoebus, often overlooked due to its unremarkable appearance, thrives in murky rivers and streams, using its hardy nature to survive in less than ideal conditions. However, with proper nurturing and the right conditions, Phoebus evolves into Melodic, a Pokemon renowned for its elegance and grace. Melodic's shimmering scales and flowing fins are said to calm even the most turbulent waters, earning it the nickname the Tender Pokemon. The lore surrounding Melodic often emphasizes its role as a symbol of hope and renewal, inspiring stories of its appearances during times of conflict or hardship. The relationship between Phoebus and Melodic serves as a reminder that beauty can emerge from unexpected places and that transformation is always possible. Hoenn's wetlands and marshes provide a habitat for the Lotad, Lombre, and Ludicolo evolutionary line, Pokemon that thrive in humid, water-rich environments. Lotad's lily pad-like body allows it to float effortlessly on the surface of ponds and lakes, absorbing sunlight through the leaf on its head. As it evolves into Lombre, it develops a more mischievous personality, often playing pranks on unsuspecting travelers. Ludicolo, the final stage of this evolutionary line, is a lively and cheerful Pokemon that dances to the rhythm of its own beat, often accompanied by its signature rain dance. The Ludicolo species is deeply tied to Hoenn's cultural traditions, frequently appearing in festivals and celebrations as a symbol of joy and abundance. The adaptability of this evolutionary line to both aquatic and terrestrial environments highlights the versatility of Hoenn's Pokemon species. The deserts of Hoenn, while seemingly barren, are home to a variety of Pokemon uniquely adapted to the harsh conditions. The Trapinch, Vibrava, and Flygon evolutionary line exemplifies the resilience of desert-dwelling species. Trapinch, a ground-type Pokemon, burrows into the sand to ambush prey, using its powerful jaws to capture unsuspecting insects. As it evolves into Vibrava, it gains the ability to fly, using its wings to traverse the vast desert landscapes in search of food and water. Flygon, the final evolution, is a dragon-type Pokemon known for its keen senses and protective nature. Its ability to create sandstorms with its wings serves both as a defense mechanism and a means of finding prey. The symbiotic relationships between these Pokemon and others, such as Cacnea and Sandslash, demonstrate the interconnectedness of desert ecosystems. Hoenn's volcanic regions, particularly around Mut Chimney, are inhabited by Pokemon adapted to extreme heat and fiery environments. The Numel and Camerupt species are particularly well suited to these conditions, with Numel's hump storing magma-like fluid that fuels its fire-type abilities. Camerupt, Numel's evolution, possesses twin volcanic craters on its back, capable of erupting with immense force. These Pokemon play a crucial role in shaping the volcanic landscapes of Hoenn, with their movements and eruptions contributing to the formation of new landforms. The relationship between Camerupt and other fire-type Pokemon, such as Torkoal and Magcargo, highlights the dynamic nature of volcanic ecosystems. The geothermal energy generated by these Pokemon has even been harnessed by humans for various purposes, showcasing the potential for coexistence between Pokemon and human technology. In the skies above Hoenn, the Swablu and Altaria species soar gracefully, their cloud-like wings making them appear almost ethereal. Swablu's fluffy feathers are known for their insulating properties, allowing it to fly comfortably at high altitudes. As it evolves into Altaria, it gains dragon-type abilities, its melodic voice said to bring calm to those who hear it. Altaria's presence in Hoenn's legends often associates it with the heavens, with stories describing it as a bridge between the earth and the sky. The migratory patterns of Swablu and Altaria are closely tied to seasonal changes, with flocks moving between Hoenn's mountain ranges and lowland areas. Their harmonious flight patterns and gentle songs make them a soothing presence in the region's ecosystems. Hoenn's forests, dense with towering trees and lush undergrowth, are home to the seed oats, Nuzleaf, and Shiftry evolutionary line. Seed oats, a small acorn-like Pokémon, clings to tree branches, absorbing nutrients from the surrounding environment. As it evolves into Nuzleaf, it becomes more mobile, using its leaf-like hands to climb trees and forage for food. Shiftry, the final evolution, is a mysterious and powerful Pokémon, said to control the winds with the fans it carries. The folklore surrounding Shiftry often portrays it as a guardian of the forest, using its abilities to protect the trees and the Pokémon that inhabit them. The role of this evolutionary line in seed dispersal and forest regeneration underscores its importance in maintaining Hoenn's woodland ecosystems. As we continue to explore the rich tapestry of Hoenn's Pokémon species, it becomes clear that each creature, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, plays a vital role in the region's ecosystems. From the depths of the ocean to the heights of the mountains, from the scorching deserts to the dense jungles, Hoenn's Pokémon have adapted to thrive in their unique environments. Their interactions with each other and with the natural world around them weave a complex and beautiful story, one that continues to unfold with each new discovery. The study of these Pokémon and their habitats not only deepens our understanding of the natural world, but also reminds us of the delicate balance that sustains life in all its forms. As we drift into a peaceful rest, let the soothing rhythms of Hoenn's ecosystems lull us into a state of calm, knowing that the world of Pokémon is as vast and interconnected as the stars in the night sky. Hoenn's coastal regions are a haven for water-type Pokémon, where the gentle lapping of waves against the shore creates a serene backdrop for their daily lives. Among these, the Wingull and Pelipper species are particularly notable. Wingull, with its delicate white wings and cheerful demeanor, is often seen gliding effortlessly over the ocean's surface, its keen eyes scanning for prey. As it evolves into Pelipper, it becomes a more robust and protective figure, known for its ability to carry small Pokémon across bodies of water with its spacious beak. Pelipper's role as a transporter and its connection to the sea make it a symbol of Hoenn's maritime culture, where fishing and seafaring are integral to daily life. The sight of a Pelipper soaring over the horizon, its silhouette framed by the setting sun, is a common and calming image for those who live along Hoenn's shores. Beneath the waves, the Tentacool and Tentacruel species drift gracefully, their tentacles trailing behind them like ribbons in the current. Tentacool, a small and seemingly harmless jellyfish-like Pokémon, is often found floating in large groups near the surface. However, it is capable of delivering a stinging sensation if provoked. As it evolves into Tentacruel, it becomes a much larger and more formidable presence, its tentacles now capable of ensnaring prey with precision. Despite their sometimes fearsome reputation, Tentacool and Tentacruel play a crucial role in maintaining the balance of Hoenn's marine ecosystems, as they help control populations of smaller aquatic creatures. Their bioluminescent glow, visible in the deeper waters at night, adds a magical quality to the ocean's depths, a reminder of the beauty and mystery that lies beneath the surface. Moving inland, the marshes and wetlands of Hoenn are teeming with life, providing a habitat for Pokémon like Lotad, Lombre, and Ludicolo. Lotad, a small and cheerful Pokémon resembling a lily pad, floats atop the water's surface, soaking up sunlight to fuel its growth. As it evolves into Lombre, it becomes more mischievous, often playing pranks on unsuspecting travelers. Lombre's playful nature is balanced by its strong connection to water, which it uses to navigate its environment with ease. When Lombre evolves into Ludicolo, it undergoes a transformation that reflects its joyous spirit, with its festive appearance and rhythmic movements, making it a beloved figure in Hoenn's folklore. Ludicolo's ability to bring rain and its association with festivals and celebrations underscore its role as a harbinger of joy and abundance. The wetlands of Hoenn, with their rich biodiversity and tranquil ambience, offer a stark contrast to the region's more arid areas, where the harsh sun and rocky terrain shape the lives of the Pokémon that call these places home. The Trapinch, Vibrava, and Flygon evolutionary line is particularly well adapted to these conditions. Trapinch, a small and unassuming Pokémon, burrows into the sand, its powerful jaws capable of crushing even the toughest prey. As it evolves into Vibrava, it gains the ability to fly, its wings producing a humming sound that resonates through the desert air. Finally, as Vibrava evolves into Flygon, it becomes a majestic and powerful dragon-type Pokémon, its keen senses allowing it to navigate the vast expanses of Hoenn's deserts with ease. Flygon's connection to the earth and its ability to summon sandstorms make it a revered figure in the region's mythology, often depicted as a guardian of the desert's secrets. The desert's unforgiving environment also serves as the habitat for the Cacnea and Cacturn species, Pokémon that thrive in the harsh conditions. Cacnea, a small cactus-like Pokémon, stores water within its body, allowing it to survive long periods without rain. As it evolves into Cacturn, it becomes a more imposing presence, its nocturnal habits and mysterious demeanor adding to its enigmatic nature. Cacturna's ability to blend into its surroundings and its penchant for luring travelers astray have earned it a place in Hoenn's ghost stories, where it is often portrayed as a trickster spirit. Despite its ominous reputation, Cacturn plays an important role in the desert ecosystem, providing shelter for smaller Pokémon and helping to stabilize the sandy terrain with its roots. The volcanic regions of Hoenn, with their smoldering craters and lava flows, are home to some of the region's most powerful and resilient Pokémon. The Numel and Camerupt species, for example, are perfectly adapted to these fiery landscapes. Numel, a camel-like Pokémon, carries magma within its hump, which it can expel as a fiery attack when threatened. As it evolves into Camerupt, it becomes a formidable force, its twin volcanoes erupting with explosive power. Camerupt's connection to fire and earth makes it a symbol of Hoenn's volcanic activity, and its presence is often seen as an omen of impending eruptions. The volcanic regions of Hoenn, with their dramatic landscapes and intense heat, are a testament to the raw power of nature, and the Pokémon that inhabit these areas are a reminder of the resilience required to thrive in such environments. The caves and caverns of Hoenn, hidden beneath the surface of the land, are a world unto themselves, filled with darkness and mystery. The Zubat, Golbat, and Crobat evolutionary line is one of the most common inhabitants of these subterranean spaces. Zubat, a small and agile Pokemon, uses echolocation to navigate the pitch-black caves, its high-pitched cries echoing through the tunnels. As it evolves into Golbat, it becomes a more formidable predator, its large mouth capable of delivering powerful bites. Finally, as Golbat evolves into Crobat, it gains incredible speed and agility, its four wings allowing it to dart through the air with unmatched precision. Crobat's sleek and silent hunting techniques make it a master of the shadows, a creature perfectly adapted to the dark and winding passages of Hoenn's caves. The depths of Hoenn's caves are also home to the Sceptile species, a mischievous and elusive Pokemon known for its glowing eyes and gemstone-like body. Sceptile's diet consists of minerals and gems, which it digs from the cave walls with its sharp claws. Its ability to absorb the nutrients from these stones allows it to thrive in the otherwise barren environment of the caves. Sceptile's nocturnal habits and its penchant for stealing shiny objects have earned it a reputation as a trickster, often appearing in Hoenn's folklore as a creature that lures travelers into the depths of the earth with its glittering treasures. Despite its mischievous nature, Sceptile plays an important role in the cave ecosystems, helping to break down minerals and recycle nutrients within the underground environment. The caves of Hoenn, with their labyrinthine passages and hidden chambers, are a place of endless discovery where each turn reveals new wonders and challenges. The Whismur, Loudred, and Exploud evolutionary line is another group of Pokemon that thrives in these subterranean spaces. Whismur, a small and timid Pokemon, uses its powerful voice to communicate across long distances, its cries echoing through the caves. As it evolves into Loudred, its voice becomes even more powerful, capable of causing vibrations that can shake the cave walls. Finally, as Loudred evolves into Exploud, its vocal abilities reach their peak, with its sonic attacks capable of causing significant damage. Exploud's presence in the caves is often felt more than seen, its roars resonating through the tunnels and serving as a warning to other Pokemon to keep their distance. Despite their sometimes overwhelming noise, the Whismur, Loudred, and Exploud species play an important role in the cave ecosystems, using their voices to navigate and communicate in the darkness. As we journey through Hoenn's diverse landscapes, from the tranquil shores and dense forests to the scorching deserts and volcanic regions, we are reminded of the incredible adaptability and resilience of the Pokemon that inhabit these environments. Each species, with its unique abilities and behaviors, contributes to the delicate balance of Hoenn's ecosystems, weaving a tapestry of life that is as complex as it is beautiful. The interplay between these Pokemon and their surroundings is a testament to the power of nature, a reminder that even in the harshest conditions, life finds a way to thrive. As the gentle rhythms of Hoenn's ecosystems lull us into a peaceful rest, we can take comfort in knowing that the world of Pokemon is a place of wonder and harmony, where each creature, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, plays a vital role in the grand scheme of life. Let the soothing sounds of Hoenn's forests, oceans, deserts, and caves guide you into a deep and restful sleep as you drift into dreams filled with the beauty and magic of the Pokemon world. The coastal regions of Hoenn offer another layer of peaceful fascination, where the rhythm of the tides dictates the daily lives of countless aquatic Pokémon. Wingull, with their effortless gliding flight, trace lazy circles above the waves, their white feathers catching the sunlight like scattered pearls. These seabirds possess an uncanny ability to predict storms, their flight patterns becoming erratic hours before the first clouds appear on the horizon. Fishermen in coastal towns have long observed Wingull behavior as natural barometers, knowing to seek shelter when the Pokémon suddenly abandon their usual hunting grounds. Below the surface, Tentacool drift with the currents, their translucent bells pulsing gently as they filter microscopic plankton from the water. Though often feared for their venomous tentacles, these jellyfish Pokémon actually play a crucial role in maintaining water quality, their presence indicating a healthy marine ecosystem. On particularly calm nights, when the moonlight paints silver pathways across the ocean's surface, one might witness the rare spectacle of a school of Chinchu swimming near the shore, their glowing antennae creating an underwater constellation that pulses in perfect synchronization with the waves. The transition from sea to shore reveals another ecosystem teeming with quiet activity. Shellows, the sea slug Pokémon, can be found clinging to rocks in the intertidal zone, their soft bodies adapting perfectly to the constant ebb and flow of the tides. Interestingly, shallows display remarkable regional variation within Hoenn. Those found along the western coast develop a vivid blue coloration and a more streamlined form to withstand stronger currents, while their eastern counterparts tend toward pink hues and ruffled mantles that help them blend into calmer, seaweed-rich waters. This elegant example of microevolution demonstrates how even within a single species, Pokémon can develop specialized traits to suit their immediate environment. Meanwhile, in the tidal pools just beyond the reach of the waves, Staryu rest during low tide, their central gems catching the sunlight in mesmerizing patterns. These star-shaped Pokémon possess incredible regenerative abilities. If a Staryu loses an arm to a predator, it can regrow the entire limb within days, a process that occurs so seamlessly that scientists continue to study their cellular biology for medical insights. Venturing slightly inland from the coast brings us to Hoenn's sprawling mangrove forests, where the boundaries between land and water blur into a maze of roots and channels. Here, the air hums with the quiet energy of Treecko as they navigate the tangled branches with flawless precision. These gecko Pokémon possess specialized toe pads that allow them to scale vertical surfaces with ease, leaving barely a ripple in their wake as they move through their arboreal domain. The mangrove canopy also shelters countless Wurmple, whose silk threads glisten like morning dew as they construct elaborate webs between the branches. Each Wurmple's evolutionary path remains a mystery until the moment of metamorphosis. Some will become the elegant Beautifly with delicate, patterned wings, while others transform into the more robust Dustox, whose powdery scales contain natural insecticides. This branching evolutionary line serves as a gentle reminder that life's journey often holds surprises, with each path possessing its own unique beauty and purpose. In the shallow waters beneath the mangroves, corfish scuttle sideways through the brackish water, their sturdy claws constantly sorting through the detritus in search of nourishment. These crustacean Pokémon exhibit surprisingly complex social behaviors, communicating through subtle antenna movements and claw gestures that researchers are only beginning to decode. During mating season, male corfish engage in elaborate ritual displays, waving their claws in specific patterns and producing low frequency vibrations through the water to attract potential mates. Their eventual evolution into Crawdont marks a dramatic shift in both appearance and temperament, as these once social creatures become solitary hunters, their once vibrant red shells darkening to a deep burgundy that allows them to ambush prey in the shadowy mangrove roots. This transformation mirrors the way many organisms change roles within their ecosystems as they mature, each life stage serving a distinct purpose in nature's grand design. The waterways of Hoenn eventually give way to its fertile lowlands, where rolling fields and gentle hills create a patchwork of habitats. Here, one finds the agricultural heart of the region, where Pokemon and humans have worked side by side for generations. In the golden hours before sunset, the air fills with the soothing hum of Combi returning to their hives, their tiny wings beating nearly invisibly as they carry precious pollen to their queen. A single Vespiquen can orchestrate the movements of hundreds of Combe workers, directing them through pheromone signals that create an intricate communication network spanning entire meadows. Observant travelers might notice how these pheromone trails shift with the seasons, becoming more complex during times of abundant blooms and simplifying when flowers grow scarce. Nearby, in the cultivated fields, Tropius bend their long necks to browse on berry bushes, their banana-like fruit growing in clusters beneath their chins. These gentle giants serve as living fertilizer dispensers. The seeds of the berries they eat pass unharmed through their digestive systems, emerging ready to sprout wherever the Pokemon deposits them. Many Hoenn farmers intentionally plant their fields near wild Tropius habitats, knowing the Pokemon will naturally assist in propagating their crops. As twilight deepens across the lowlands, the first flickers of Volbeat and Illumise begin to appear, their abdominal lights pulsing in intricate mating displays. Those firefly Pokemon create breathtaking light shows that follow precise mathematical patterns, with groups of Volbeat forming geometric shapes in the air, while Illumise trace delicate spirals around them. Researchers have discovered that each regional population develops slightly different light sequences, creating what amounts to a cultural variation in their bioluminescent language. The faint clicking sounds accompanying their displays are not random noise, but rather a sophisticated form of communication where the timing between clicks conveys specific information about territory, mating availability, and even warnings about nearby predators. This harmonious interplay of light and sound creates one of Hoenn's most enchanting nocturnal phenomena, a living ballet that has inspired local artists and musicians for centuries. Beneath this dancing canopy, the night shift of ground-dwelling Pokemon begins its work. Shroomish emerge from the leaf litter, their spongy bodies absorbing moisture from the evening dew as they spread spores that will nourish the soil. These unassuming mushroom Pokemon possess an astonishing ability to control the growth of fungi throughout the forest. Their spores contain chemical markers that suppress harmful molds while encouraging beneficial mycorrhizal networks. Farmers often cultivate patches of shroomish near their orchards, as their presence has been shown to increase crop yields while naturally preventing fungal diseases. As shroomish evolve into Breloom, Their role in the ecosystem shifts dramatically. Where they once focused on soil health, they now become guardians of the understory, their powerful spring like tails allowing them to bound through the vegetation as they keep herbivore populations in check. This division of ecological responsibilities between evolutionary stages ensures that each phase of a Pokemon's life cycle contributes meaningfully to its habitat. The passage of night brings subtle changes to the lowland soundscape. The rhythmic chirping of Kricketot gradually gives way to the deeper, more complex songs of their evolved form, Cricketune. These musical Pokemon don't simply repeat the same melody. They improvise variations on traditional themes, with older individuals incorporating more sophisticated flourishes into their performances. Regional differences in these songs are so distinct that experienced trainers can often identify which part of Hoenn a Cricketune comes from just by listening to its melody. The hollow chambers in Cricketune's arms act as natural resonators, amplifying their songs across considerable distances while also serving as highly sensitive auditory organs that can detect the faintest vibrations in the air or ground. This dual purpose adaptation demonstrates nature's elegant efficiency, where a single physical trait serves multiple survival functions. As we observe these interconnected lives playing out across Hoenn's varied landscapes, we begin to perceive the deeper rhythms that govern this vibrant ecosystem. The region's true magic lies not in any single remarkable creature, but in the countless subtle relationships that bind them all together. The way Wingull follow Wailmer pods to catch fish stirred up by their movements, how Tropius provide perches for weary Combee during long pollen-gathering flights, or the delicate balance between Breloom maintaining understory vegetation and Seedot patiently awaiting their chance to sprout in the newly created clearings. Each interaction forms a thread in Hoenn's living tapestry, woven through with patience and perfected over generations. The soft rustling of leaves, the distant call of a Cricketune, the gentle lapping of waves against the shore, these are the lullabies of a region where every creature, from the smallest Wurmple to the mightiest Groudon, has found its place in the grand symphony of life. Let these soothing patterns of existence ease your mind as you drift deeper into rest, cradled by the knowledge that Hoenn's ecosystems will continue their eternal dance long after your eyes have closed, each Pokemon playing its part in the endless cycle of day and night, season after season, in perfect harmony. The warm ocean currents that lap against Hoenn's shores carry more than just water. They transport entire ecosystems in their gentle embrace. Luvdisk, with their heart-shaped bodies, ride these currents in vast schools, their pink scales catching the sunlight like scattered rose petals on the water's surface. These seemingly simple fish Pokemon play a crucial role in maintaining coral reef health, their constant nibbling keeping algae growth in check, while their waste provides nutrients for the delicate coral polyps. During full moons, their courtship rituals transform quiet coves into shimmering spectacles as pairs spiral through the water in intricate dances that have inspired human artists for generations. Beneath the waves, Clamperl nestle into rocky crevices, their pearlescent shells slowly secreting layers of nacre over years, sometimes decades. The oldest specimens develop such thick, lustrous coatings that they become nearly immobile, their shells too heavy to be carried by their small muscular feet. These ancient individuals often become the foundation for new reef structures, their shells providing attachment points for barnacles, anemones, and colonies of Corsola polyps. When a clamprel finally evolves into either Huntail or Goribus, the sudden departure of the occupant leaves behind a perfectly shaped cavity that becomes prime real estate for smaller marine Pokémon seeking shelter from strong currents. The tidal zones where land and sea meet create unique microhabitats teeming with specialized life. Tentacool drift lazily in the shallows, their translucent bells pulsing rhythmically as they filter plankton from the water. Their long, trailing tentacles, often mistaken for seaweed by inexperienced swimmers, contain microscopic hooks that snare passing nutrients. These gentle drifters follow lunar cycles with remarkable precision, moving en masse to different coastal areas as the tides shift, their migrations forming living currents visible from shore. On particularly still nights, when the bioluminescent plankton they feed upon are abundant, their movements can transform entire bays into shimmering fields of blue-green light. Further inland, where freshwater meets the ocean, the brackish marshes host their own unique cast of characters. Barboach navigate these murky waters with ease, their whisker-like barbels sensitive enough to detect the electrical signals of buried prey from several feet away. Their peculiar wriggling dance through the mud serves multiple purposes, stirring up food particles, oxygenating the sediment for plant roots, and creating small depressions that become nurseries for younger fish Pokémon. When the dry season comes and water levels drop, they burrow deep into the cool mud, entering a state of suspended animation until the rains return, their metabolisms slowing to near undetectable levels. The river systems that carve through Hoenn's landscape act as liquid highways for countless species. Phoebus, often dismissed as weak and unattractive, demonstrate extraordinary resilience in these waters. They survive in seemingly inhospitable conditions, tiny stagnant pools, nearly dried up creek beds, even drainage ditches, by entering a remarkable state of metabolic flexibility. Their scales secrete a protective mucus that prevents dehydration, while their kidneys can adjust filtration rates depending on water salinity. This incredible adaptability means Phoebus populations often endure when more desirable fish Pokémon perish during droughts or pollution events, serving as ecological reservoirs that help repopulate waterways when conditions improve. Where rivers widen into lazy lowland stretches, Lotad float serenely, their broad lily pad leaves collecting morning dew that trickles down to nourish the water below. These patient Pokémon move little during daylight hours, conserving energy while their leaves photosynthesize. But as twilight falls, they become surprisingly active, using their small feet to walk along the bottom as they forage for algae and detritus. Their evolutionary line demonstrates one of nature's most elegant progressions, from floating Lotad to amphibious Lombre, and finally to the majestic Ludicolo that dances with unrestrained joy whenever rain begins to fall. This final transformation represents a perfect synthesis of aquatic and terrestrial adaptations, with the umbrella-like crest providing shade for smaller Pokémon during hot days, while its rhythmic movements aerate the water, benefiting the entire ecosystem. The dense mangrove swamps of southern Hoenn form intricate labyrinths where roots and branches create countless hiding places. Carvanha patrol these shadowy waterways, their reputation as vicious predators overshadowing their crucial role in maintaining ecosystem balance. By culling weak and sick individuals from schools of smaller fish, they prevent disease outbreaks while ensuring only the strongest specimens pass on their genes. Their razor sharp teeth, capable of shearing through bone, are kept meticulously clean by mutualistic shrimp Pokémon that live among mangrove roots, a rare example of cross species cooperation between predator and prey. In the canopy above these wetlands, Shiftry stand sentinel, their fan like hands creating gentle breezes that carry seeds across great distances. These wise old Pokémon possess an almost supernatural understanding of weather patterns, often relocating days before storms arrive. Their hollow trunks provide homes for countless arboreal creatures, from burrowing Wurmple to colonies of Nincada that feed on decaying wood without harming the living tree. The folklore of coastal villages tells of ancient Shiftry that have stood for centuries, their roots intertwined with the very bones of the land, whispering secrets to those who know how to listen. As we move higher into Hoenn's mountainous regions, the air grows cooler and the ecosystems shift dramatically. Swablu fluff their cotton-like wings to trap insulating air pockets, allowing them to thrive at altitudes that would leave other flying Pokémon breathless. Their gentle nature belies an important ecological function. Their downy feathers, which they shed regularly, become nesting material for countless other species. The act of preening also distributes oils that waterproof their plumage, and these oils contain compounds that naturally repel parasites, benefiting any creature fortunate enough to line its nest with Swablu feathers. The rocky outcrops and cliffs are home to Aran, small but incredibly durable steel types that methodically consume mineral deposits. Their constant gnawing serves to break down rock faces over generations, contributing to soil formation and exposing new nutrient veins for plant roots. Their metallic hides develop unique patinas based on local mineral content. Some populations take on a bluish tint from cobalt-rich areas, while others develop coppery highlights near deposits of malachite. When they evolve into Lyron and eventually Agron, their role shifts from miners to guardians, using their immense strength to reinforce tunnel systems and prevent cave-ins that could endanger entire colonies of subterranean Pokémon. At the highest peaks, where oxygen grows thin, Altaria circle on thermals, their cloud-like wings creating fleeting shadows on the slopes below. These majestic dragon types possess a remarkable vocal range, from subsonic rumbles that can trigger small avalanches, used carefully to clear potential landslide areas before storms, to ethereal high notes that some researchers believe may influence local weather patterns. Their down is prized for its incredible insulating properties, but wild Altaria only molt naturally once per year, leaving their shed feathers to become nesting material for high-altitude bird Pokémon like Skarmory. The volcanic regions of Hoenn tell a different story, one of heat and renewal. Numel plod patiently across ashy plains, their humps storing not water, but concentrated magma energy that fuels their fiery breath. These stoic creatures follow predictable migration paths that have been used by indigenous peoples for navigation for centuries. Their heavy footsteps inadvertently pack down loose volcanic soil, creating natural pathways that stabilize hillsides and prevent erosion. When they evolve into Camerupt, their backs become miniature ecosystems, Steam vents release nutrients that allow hardy mosses and lichens to grow, which in turn feed certain insect Pokémon adapted to extreme environments. Within active calderas, slugma flow like living lava, their molten bodies maintaining volcanic activity during dormant periods. Far from being destructive forces, these fire types actually prevent catastrophic eruptions by slowly releasing pressure through controlled oozing. Their heat resistant enzymes have inspired advances in human technology, particularly in materials science, where researchers attempt to replicate their ability to contain incredible temperatures without losing structural integrity. During mating seasons, groups of slugma converge in spectacular glowing congregations, their combined body heat creating temporary geothermal pools where certain algae and bacteria thrive, the foundation of unique food chains existing nowhere else. The caves beneath these volcanic regions harbor their own wonders. Sableye, with their gem-encrusted bodies, navigate the darkness with eerie precision. These mischievous ghost types perform an unexpected service by consuming otherwise indestructible mineral formations that could block underground waterways. Their digestive acids break down even the hardest crystals, releasing trapped nutrients back into the ecosystem. The faint glow of their eyes, actually biofluorescent bacteria living in symbiotic relationships with the Pokémon, provides the only light in these depths, creating an otherworldly ambiance that has inspired countless legends among underground dwelling communities. As day breaks over Hoenn, the cycle begins anew. Roselia in sunlit meadows unfurl their bouquet-like arms, releasing pollen-laden perfumes timed perfectly with the awakening of combi hives. Tylo scouts take to the skies, their sharp eyes scanning for insect swarms while simultaneously serving as early warning systems for approaching weather fronts. Zigzagoon begin their daily patrols along game trails, their random seeming movements actually distributing seeds and spores across impressive ranges. Every action, no matter how small, weaves another thread into the region's grand ecological tapestry, a tapestry that continues to unfold in perfect harmony, season after season, eon after eon. Let these rhythms of nature, the tidal pull of the moon on ocean currents, the slow growth of ancient trees, the patient mining of mountains by steel-clad jaws, lull you deeper into rest. Hoenn's ecosystems will continue their eternal dance without pause, each creature playing its part in the great circle of life, just as they have for millennia, just as they will for millennia to come. Breathe in this knowledge, let it settle in your bones like the comforting weight of a well-worn blanket, and surrender to the peaceful certainty that all is as it should be in this vibrant, living world. The waves will continue to kiss the shore, the leaves will continue to whisper in the wind, and Hoenn's wild heart will keep beating steadily through the night, watching over your dreams until morning comes. The warm shallows along Hoenn's southern coasts reveal another dimension of this region's delicate balance. Here, Corsola colonies build their intricate calcium structures, their branching formations creating nurseries for countless marine species. But look closer. Within these living reefs, clamprel hide in pearlescent secrecy, filtering microscopic nutrients through their hinged shells. Their slow growth produces pearls of astonishing quality, each one a layered record of water chemistry changes over decades. Fishermen whisper of rare specimens whose pearls glow faintly in moonlight, containing traces of ancient Pokémon DNA that may unlock evolutionary mysteries yet unsolved. These tidal zones also host the peculiar Wailmer migrations, where entire pods beach themselves briefly during low tide to sunbathe, their thick blubber preventing dehydration while they absorb warmth. Local Wingull have learned to follow these events, picking parasites from the stranded giant's skin in a rare example of cross-species cooperation. On particularly still mornings, if you're very quiet, you might hear the deep, resonant songs traveling between Wailmer pods across miles of ocean, a complex communication system scientists believe may involve detecting vibrations through Hoenn's underwater thermal vents. Moving inland, the great weather divide between eastern and western Hoenn shapes entire microclimates. Cast form, those living barometers, float through these transitional zones in drifting colonies, their cellular structures shifting between forms with an elegance that defies physics. Researchers tracking their movements have discovered they actually moderate extreme weather. Groups of sunny cast form will cluster around drought-stricken areas, triggering gentle rains when their numbers reach critical mass. Similarly, snowy cast form formations appear at high altitudes precisely when avalanches threaten, their body temperatures stabilizing unstable snowpacks. The Meteorology Institute in Fortree City maintains decades of records showing how these Pokemon interventions have prevented countless natural disasters, their presence acting as a self-regulating safety net for Hoenn's ecosystems. In the region's southwestern marshes, where morning mists linger until noon, the line between water and land becomes deliciously blurred. Here, Lotad navigate their amphibious existence with perfect poise, their lily pad leaves photosynthesizing by day, while their underside gills extract oxygen from water by night. During full moons, these wetlands undergo a magical transformation. Shroomish spores released at dusk react with lunar light to create bioluminescent pathways across the water's surface. Illuminated Lotad processions follow these glowing trails to ancestral breeding grounds, a migration unchanged since prehistoric times. The few humans privileged to witness this event describe an overwhelming sense of tranquility, as if watching time itself move at nature's intended pace. Meanwhile, lurking beneath peat-stained waters, Whiscash slumber in the mud, their whiskers extending through the substrate like living seismographs. Tribal elders still consult their movements. When these usually sedentary creatures suddenly become active, earthquakes often follow within days. Modern detection equipment has yet to match the precision of these whiskered oracles. The towering canopies of Petalburg Woods shelter an entirely different rhythm of life. Here, sunlight filters through layers of leaves in shifting mosaics, creating microhabitats that change by the hour. Slakoth occupy the highest branches, their languid movements belying an astonishing fact. Their fur grows symbiotic algae that produces nutrients absorbed directly through their skin, reducing their need to forage. Below them, Vigoroth maintain frantic territorial patrols, their manic energy actually aerating the forest floor with constant digging and scraping. This activity prevents dangerous fungal buildups while creating perfect germination sites for fallen seeds. At ground level, Shroomish remain motionless for weeks until detecting specific vibrations from approaching herbivores when they release targeted spore clouds that discourage overgrazing without harming the ecosystem. Forest rangers have documented how these different species unconsciously coordinate. Slackoth movements trigger Vigoroth responses that influence shroomish behaviors, forming a living feedback loop, maintaining the wood's health. Along Hoenn's jagged northeastern cliffs, where salt spray hangs perpetually in the air, Aaron herds traverse impossible vertical surfaces. Their steel coated claws secrete a magnetic fluid, allowing adhesion to iron rich rock faces, while their constantly regenerating teeth carve out mineral deposits inaccessible to other species. These grazing patterns create intricate erosion patterns that over centuries have shaped entire cliff formations. During spring thaws, their discarded metal filings wash downstream to rivers where corfish populations incorporate the particles into their exoskeletons. This unexpected metal recycling results in crustaceans with extraordinarily durable shells, so strong that ancient civilizations use them as natural currency. Even today, archaeologists sometimes find fossilized corfish molts used as ceremonial armor in burial sites. As night falls again over this diverse region, the nocturnal shift begins. Dustox emerge from their cocoons precisely at twilight, their wing scales absorbing moonlight to power unusual chemical processes. Their bodies convert lunar energy into a pheromone that neutralizes toxic plant compounds ingested during larval stages. These moths' flight paths trace invisible highways between medicinal plants, their very movements distributing remedies across the landscape. In their wake come the Poochyena packs, whose howls contain ultrasonic frequencies that stimulate certain seeds to germinate. Researchers, comparing sound wave patterns, have found their vocalizations match the resonant frequencies of dormant desert seeds exactly, an evolutionary adaptation ensuring food sources regrow after dry seasons. Under the same moon, Ma will rest quietly near cave entrances, their deceptive flower-like appendages actually sensory organs that detect approaching weather systems days in advance. Farmers still plant according to Mawil blooms, knowing their movements predict rainfall with uncanny accuracy. And so Hoenn breathes on, its rhythms interconnected down to the most microscopic level. The region's volcanic heat fuels ocean currents that feed plankton that nourish Wailord, whose migrations redistribute nutrients across hemispheres. Every grain of sand, every wisp of cloud, every tremor in the earth connects in this grand design. As you drift toward sleep, imagine yourself cradled in this perfection, a single thread in Hoenn's living tapestry, as natural and essential as the morning fog on Meteor Falls or the evening chorus of Treecko in ancient rainforests. There is deep comfort in knowing such balance exists, that nature's wisdom far exceeds our understanding, that even in your stillness, the world continues its graceful dance. Rest now, cradled in this certainty, while the stars above Sutapolis whisper their timeless lullabies across the land. The warm, volcanic springs of Hoenn's interior create microclimates where rare species thrive unseen. Hidden beneath the steam-shrouded pools, clamperl drift lazily in the mineral-rich currents, their shells slowly accumulating layers of iridescent nacre. Over decades, these layers compress into natural pearls containing traces of Hoenn's geothermal energy, pearls that, when examined under moonlight, reveal faint, swirling patterns identical to the region's ocean currents. Some say these pearls hold memories of the sea, passed down through generations of clamperl who filter the same waters their ancestors did millennia ago. Nearby, Spinda weave through the mist in their endless, wobbling dances. Their movements appear random, but ecologists have discovered each Spinda's unique pattern actually matches the seismic vibrations of the land where it was born. The way they stagger, the pauses between steps, all mirror the underground rhythms of Hoenn's tectonic plates. During earthquakes, Spinda instinctively move in perfect sync with the tremors, never losing balance, as if the earth itself guides their feet. Along the southern coasts, where the sand glows faintly from bioluminescent plankton, Wingle perform their nightly fishing rituals. Their precise dive patterns create vortexes in the water that concentrate the glowing organisms, attracting larger prey. But what's truly remarkable is how these vortexes persist long after the Wingle have left. Currents continue spiraling for hours, redistributing nutrients through the water column in ways that benefit entire ecosystems. Marine biologists have mapped these spiral patterns and found they perfectly mimic the ancient petroglyphs carved into Hoenn's sea cliffs by early civilizations, suggesting humans once observed and revered these natural phenomena. In the whispering bamboo forests of Route 120, shroomish sleep nestled in hollow stalks, their spores drifting upward to coat the bamboo's interior walls. Those spores contain enzymes that strengthen the plant fibers, making the bamboo nearly unbreakable during storms. Local artisans still harvest these reinforced stalks to craft instruments and tools, their durability unmatched by modern materials. On still nights, when the bamboo sways, the dried spores inside create faint musical tones, a natural wind chime that soothes wild Pokémon and travelers alike. Nearby, the oldest Sableye make their homes in geodes cracked open by time. These elder Sableye no longer seek gems to eat, having instead cultivated symbiotic crystals within their own bodies. The crystals grow slowly over centuries, their structure influenced by the Sableye's experiences. Joy, sorrow, even the memory of thunderstorms become etched into the gem's atomic lattice. Some say if you listen closely to these crystals, in complete darkness, you can hear faint echoes of the past. The desert's shifting sands conceal marvels of their own. Trapinch build elaborate funnel-shaped nests that harness the wind's power, their spiral designs funneling cool air underground during the day and releasing warmth at night. These natural temperature regulators create oases where other species take refuge. Cacnea often grow in concentric circles around trapinch colonies, their roots tapping into the stabilized microclimate. On particularly still nights, the sand itself seems to sing as wind passes over these structures, a phenomenon ancient tribes called the desert's lullaby. Deeper in the dunes, Boltoi meditate in perfect stillness, their clay bodies absorbing sunlight by day and releasing it as gentle warmth after sunset. Their psychic energy leaves barely visible patterns in the sand, fractal designs that, when viewed from above, match the constellations visible in Hoenn's winter sky. Even Hoenn's rarest phenomena follow this harmony. When Relicanth gather in their secret underwater caves to spawn, the pressure changes from their synchronized swimming trigger dormant volcanic vents to release mineral plumes. These plumes then rise to feed surface-dwelling plankton blooms, which in turn sustain migrating pelipper flocks. The Relicanth's ancient rhythms, unchanged for millions of years, inadvertently nourish the present. Similarly, when melodic dance during mating season, the hydrodynamic trails they leave behind persist for weeks, creating pathways that guide young water-type Pokémon safely through strong currents. Sailors once navigated by these invisible roads, calling them the Serpent's Blessing. As the night deepens, even the stars seem to acknowledge Hoenn's balance. Meteors passing over the region often flare brighter, as if energized by the land below, a phenomenon astronomers attribute to charged particles rising from meteor falls. Some claim these falling stars are drawn to the region, pulled by the same magnetic forces that guide Latios and Latias on their eternal patrols. The ebb and flow of tides, the growth of leaves, even the slow erosion of mountains, all move to the same silent rhythm. So rest now, wrapped in this knowledge. Every breath you take aligns with Whismer's distant calls, echoing through caverns, with the pulse of tidal pools where Chinchu glow, with the rustle of Tropius leaves in highland breezes. You are part of this continuum, as natural and timeless as the starlight reflected in Passifidlog's canals, or the morning dew on a Roselia's petals. The world turns, the balance holds, and you, safe, still, and serene, can surrender to Hoenn's eternal lullaby. Let the waves of Slateport's shore count your breaths. Let the rustling leaves of Petalburg woods whisper their reassurance. Let the soft glow of Volbeat lights in the distance guide you deeper into dreams. All is as it should be. All is at peace. And as sleep finally claims you, remember, somewhere in Hoenn right now, a Bagan dreams of flying, and its dream is just as real as the wind, as the stars, as this moment. Rest well. The tide gently laps against the mossy stones of Dewford's shoreline, where Corsola colonies slowly extend their delicate branches toward the moonlight. Each polyps sways in perfect unison, their rhythmic movements syncing with the distant hum of the island's underground currents. This harmony isn't accidental. Scientists studying these coral formations discovered their growth patterns perfectly mirror the seismic vibrations of Hoenn's tectonic plates. Even in stillness, Corsola are listening to the heartbeat of the land. Further inland, where the caves of Granite Peak exhale cool, mineral-scented air, Nosepass stand sentinel. Their magnetic noses don't just point north, they subtly realign throughout the night, tracing the invisible dance of charged particles in the upper atmosphere. Miners once used these slight adjustments to predict weather patterns, noting how the Pokemon's alignment would shift hours before storms gathered over the ocean. Beneath the soil of Route 111, Trapinch create elaborate funnel-shaped nests that channel the faintest desert winds downward. These spiraling tunnels amplify the sound of shifting sands into a deep, resonant hum, a natural warning system that alerts the colony to approaching predators. On still nights, if you press your ear to the warm earth, you can hear the desert breathing through these subterranean instruments. Above ground, the stars seem to burn brighter over the ashen desert, their light refracted through suspended silica particles. Ancient campers' tales speak of certain constellations appearing to drip like molten silver during particularly dry seasons, an illusion created by heat waves interacting with the region's unique atmospheric conditions. In the canopy of Petalburg woods, where moonlight filters through layers of broad leaves, Ninjisk shells abandoned during molting dangle like delicate chimes. The hollow exoskeletons produce faint, flute-like tones when night breezes pass through them, a phenomenon locals call the forest's forgotten song. Deep in the undergrowth, Shroomish release spores that glow faintly blue when they contact the dew-laden spiderwebs spanning between trees. These bioluminescent threads form shifting constellations at ground level, guiding nocturnal Pokémon to patches of nutrient-rich fungi. The entire forest floor becomes a mirror of the starry sky above, two cosmic maps aligned in perfect symmetry. Off the coast of Route 132, where underwater currents collide, schools of Lovedisk form spiraling formations that redirect the flow of plankton-rich waters. Their synchronized movements create temporary eddies that rise to the surface as gentle whirlpools. Fishermen recognize these spinning patches of calm as signs of abundant catches come dawn. Below them, in the twilight zone of the ocean, relic formations of ancient coral glow with absorbed sunlight, their stored energy pulsing in slow, rhythmic intervals that attract flocks of hungry chinchou. The entire seabed flickers like a submerged aurora, each pulse exactly 12 minutes apart, the same interval at which Wailord pods surface to breathe in perfect unison across Hoenn's western archipelago. High above Sotopolis's crater lake, where the night air is thin and clear, the wingbeats of Altaria disturb clouds of volcanic ash in precise geometric patterns. Meteorologists have noted that these ash formations, when viewed from certain angles at dawn, exactly replicate the cloud cover predictions for the coming week, an accidental weather forecast written in the sky each night. Meanwhile, in the city's submerged caverns, Phoebus scales absorb moonlight, filtering through the water, charging their latent evolutionary energy. The faint prismatic sheen this creates on the cavern walls shifts gradually from silver to pink as the night progresses, a natural chromatic clock observed by night diving researchers. Even Hoenn's architecture resonates with these natural rhythms. The slate rooftops of Four Tree City were designed to vibrate at frequencies that repel nocturnal flying types from nesting too close, creating a soft, ultrasonic hum that blends seamlessly with the surrounding jungle's nighttime chorus. The cobblestones lining moss-deep streets contain flecks of magnetite that realign slightly during meteor showers, making the pathways faintly luminous underfoot when cosmic activity peaks. And in Passavidlog Town, the floating home's woven foundations contain strands of Corsola branches that stiffen in response to approaching storms, causing the entire settlement to drift into more protective formations hours before bad weather arrives. As moonlight reaches a certain angle over Mount Pyre, the ancient mirrors embedded in the shrine's uppermost tier focus beams of light onto specific grave sites. Each beam illuminates for precisely 9 minutes, the length of time shrine keepers believe a spirit takes to traverse between worlds. The phenomenon occurs regardless of weather, as the mirrors are attuned to lunar phases rather than visible moonlight. On nights when the mirrors activate during rainfall, Shuppet gather beneath the sheltered graves to bask in the amplified psychic energy, their faint cries harmonizing with the falling droplets in eerie melodic patterns. Rest now, cradled by these interlocking rhythms. The pulse of wingle wings, skimming wave crests, matches the oscillation of tidal generators beneath the waves. The slow creep of morning fog through Rustborough's steel canyons mirrors the growth rate of Breloom spores in nearby fields. Every element, stone, leaf, current, or cloud, moves as part of this grand design, each subtle motion a brushstroke in Hoenn's eternal masterpiece. Let your breathing sink with the expansion of Jirachi's ancient comet as it approaches perihelion once every 1,000 years, with the patient unfurling of Atropius's banana leaf at dawn, with the millimeter by millimeter retreat of Shoal Cave's ice formations under the pressure of the sea's breath. There's no hurry here, only the gentle certainty of cycles repeating as they have for eons. Somewhere above, a shooting star traces the same path its ancestors burned across the sky when Groudon first shaped the continents. Somewhere below, a Relicanth dreams in blue twilight of swimming through primordial seas. And here now, you float between all times and places, held safe in the cradle of Hoenn's endless, whispering balance. The stars turn, the tides shift, and all is right with the world. Sleep well. The ancient tides that carved Hoenn's coastline still whisper through the region's stones, carrying memories older than recorded time. When you press your ear to the basalt columns of Duford's northern shore, you can hear vibrations from the deep, the slow grinding of tectonic plates, the distant songs of Wailmer pods migrating along thermal vents. These sounds travel upward through mineral veins that function as natural resonating chambers, transforming geological movements into a barely perceptible hum. Local fishermen claim this is how Sharpedo navigate in total darkness, their entire bodies attuned to these vibrations, feeling the continent's pulse through water molecules compressed by underwater cavern walls. Even the sand on beaches holds secrets. Each granule of Slateport's shores contains microscopic fossils of prehistoric Pokémon, their mineralized cells arranged in spiral patterns that catch moonlight at precise angles to repel predatory nocturnal Diglett. Beneath Mauville City's neon glow, forgotten tunnels twist through strata of prehistoric soil where the roots of transplanted trees now grow. These roots have absorbed traces of lightning strikes from centuries past, creating natural capacitors that cause certain patches of grass to emit faint blue sparks during thunderstorms. This phenomenon attracts wild electrike, who nestle in the charged soil to recharge their static, a behavior first documented by Professor Cosmo's great-grandfather, who noticed the pups would always curl up in fractal patterns that maximize electrical conductivity. The city's power grid was actually designed around these natural energy channels, with substations placed where wild magnemite naturally congregate during magnetic storms. In the quiet hours before dawn, the berry orchards of Route 119 release subtle pheromones that guide foraging Pokémon to the ripest fruits. Each berry variety emits a distinct ultrasonic pulse as it reaches peak sweetness, inaudible to humans, but perfectly tuned to the hearing range of specific Pokémon. A Pecha berry's vibration lures Combee with its honeyed resonance, while the sharper frequency of a Chesto berry attracts vigilant Vigoroth, keeping watch over their sleeping Slakoth. This intricate communication system evolved over millennia, with the plants and Pokémon co-developing these signals through mutual dependence. Researchers at the Berry Master's house discovered that uprooted bushes will continue producing these pulses for exactly 72 hours, the time it takes for their root networks to fully deplete stored nutrients, as though singing one last aria to thank their pollinators. The famous Aspertia City murals contain more than pigment. Each brushstroke was mixed with powdered evolutionary stones, allowing the artwork to shift hues depending on which Pokémon species view them. A Ralts passing by will see the paintings glow faintly pink as the Gardevoir depicted reacts to psychic energy, while a young Carvanha's eyes reflect back flashes of crimson from the latent firestone particles within the paint. This technique was perfected by artists who observed how Sableye interact with gemstones, noting how the Pokémon could draw out latent colors invisible to the naked eye. At night, when the murals are illuminated by streetlights, the residual energy creates shadow plays of Pokémon long extinct, their silhouettes flickering for mere seconds as temperature changes activate the mineral compounds. Deep within the Safari Zone's misty groves, certain trees produce sap that solidifies into natural lenses when exposed to moonlight. These lenses focus beams of light onto patches of moss that, when warmed to precisely 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, release spores with mild soporific effects. This is why many trainers report feeling inexplicably relaxed in the northwestern quadrant of the zone. Mightyena and Poochyena instinctively nap in these areas, their fur collecting the spores which later act as natural sedatives when they groom themselves. The entire system functions with the precision of a timepiece, with the sap lenses melting at dawn to prevent overexposure, only to reform the next evening when conditions are right. The hot springs of Laveridge Town contain dissolved minerals from Mount Chimney's ancient eruptions, each thermal pool maintaining a distinct mineral balance that attracts different Pokémon. The milky blue springs have higher sulfur content that soothes Machop muscle strains, while the clearer pools contain lithium salts that help meditate achieve deeper trances. Local tradition holds that pouring water from all 7 primary springs into a stone basin at midnight will create a solution capable of polishing evolution stones to peak efficacy, a practice that dates back to when the first Camerupt caravans transported volcanic minerals down the mountain paths. The steam rising from these waters carries minuscule particles of obsidian that refract starlight into prismatic displays, visible only from certain angles in the valley below. Even Hoenn's weather follows ancient algorithms. The famous winds that carry cast form across the region actually trace the same routes as oceanic currents far below. The aerial and aquatic streams locked in mirrored dance since prehistoric times. Meteorologists studying this phenomenon discovered that the probability of rain increases by 18% when flocks of Wingull alter their flight patterns to avoid magnetic disturbances caused by shifting solar winds. Thus, subtle interactions create feedback loops where Pokémon behavior unconsciously shapes the climate that in turn guides their movements, an endless cycle of cause and effect, stretching back to when the first raindrops fell on newly formed continents. The glass orbs sold in Sutopolis markets are more than souvenirs. When submerged in water, they emit frequencies identical to the echolocation clicks of wild Relicanth. This causes the ancient fish to approach out of instinctual curiosity, though they never surface, leaving only concentric ripples as evidence of their passing. Glassblowers learned this technique from observing how melodic scales vibrate when touched by specific sound waves, an insight that later helped scientists develop underwater communication devices. As night deepens, let these rhythms carry you, the cadence of Wurmple's silk strands stretching in the humid air, the lunar-timed pulsations of Chinchu light organs dimming in unison, the infinitesimal settling of fossils in the Rustboro Museum's display cases as the Earth's rotation slightly shifts their weight. Every motion, no matter how small, is part of Hoenn's eternal symphony. Breathe in time with the tide pools filling, the meteors sighing through the stratosphere, the slow unfurling of lily fronds in their dark aquatic gardens. All is as it should be. The world turns, and you are safe within its turning. Sleep now and dream of ancient seas. The tides of Slateport Harbor follow a rhythm older than human memory, their ebb and flow synchronized with the migratory patterns of Wailmer pods that pass through the channel each season. Fishermen whisper that the Wailmer sing to the moon, their haunting melodies resonating through underwater caverns to create vibrations that gently nudge the tides into alignment. Scientists have measured these frequencies and found they match the natural resonance of certain coastal rock formations, proof that Pokemon and environment have shaped each other over millennia. On still nights, if you press your ear to the damp wooden pilings of the old docks, you can sometimes hear the harbor itself breathing, a slow, deep sound caused by air moving through hollows carved by generations of Corsola polyps. Further inland, the rustling leaves of Petalburg woods create a lullaby composed of countless tiny sounds. The scritch of Nincada claws on bark, the flutter of beautifully wings dispersing sleep-inducing scales, the occasional soft thump of a shroomish releasing spores into the moonlit air. Botanists discovered that the trees here grow in perfect spirals because their roots follow the underground tunnels of diglet colonies, creating natural Fibonacci patterns visible from the air. The forest floor stays perpetually warm due to geothermal activity channeled through these tunnels, allowing oddish to photosynthesize even at night by absorbing infrared radiation through their leaves. In the quiet hours before dawn, the desert around Moville exhales, cool air rushing through ancient riverbeds where trapinch lie in wait. The granules of sand here are unusually spherical, polished smooth by centuries of sandshrew rolling them during territorial displays. Geologists believe this sand retains traces of the meteor showers that once fell over Hoenn, explaining why certain patches glow faintly when agitated by sand/quills. The desert's silence is an illusion. It thrums with infrasound vibrations from distant seismic shifts, frequencies that lull Camerupt into their famously deep slumbers. The abandoned power plant near New Moville holds its own nocturnal symphony, the residual electricity in its walls creating faint, harmonic hums as it interacts with moisture in the air. These tones occasionally attract wild electrike, who sit motionless in the moonlight absorbing the vibrations through their fur. Engineers once tried to replicate this phenomenon artificially, but found that only natural corrosion patterns on the original copper wiring could produce the precise frequencies that soothe electric-type Pokemon. The walls here still bear the claw marks of Manectric that came to rest decades ago, their impressions preserved like fossils in the soft metal. Beneath Lily Cove's art museum lies a network of springs where water seeps through layers of colored clay, emerging in hues that shift with the seasons. Local artists once used these mineral-rich waters to create paints for their masterpieces, unaware that the colors changed because of interactions with underground Lovedisc populations. During mating seasons, the fish's scales release microscopic pigments that tint the water, a phenomenon now carefully monitored by conservationists. The museum's oldest paintings, when examined under special lighting, reveal brushstrokes containing these same organic compounds, proving the artworks were painted during specific lunar phases when the Lovedisc were most active. The currents around Pacifidlog town carry whispers from across the ocean as seeds, pollen, and sometimes messages in bottles that have traveled for years before catching in the floating village's nets. The town's movements aren't random. They follow submerged currents created by Relicanth swimming in the ancient memorized routes. Children here learn to predict storms by watching how the town's wooden platforms tilt, a skill passed down from ancestors who noticed the wood grain aligned itself with magnetic fields over time. At night, the creaking of the ropes sounds like a lullaby composed by the sea itself, each note tuned to the rhythm of the waves. The berries grown in Hoenn's soil contain trace elements found nowhere else, minerals deposited during the continent's violent geological birth. A pecha berry's sweetness comes from enzymes that evolved to neutralize volcanic gases, while the bitterness of a figgy berry's stem mimics the taste of certain deep-sea plants, a defense mechanism against prehistoric herbivores. Farmers discovered that planting berries in alternating spirals increases their potency, though none could explain why until researchers observed wild tropius using the same arrangement, their massive leaves creating microclimates that enhance soil nutrition. As the world turns toward morning, the first light touches Mount Pyre's summit, where the air is so still that falling ashes from incense take minutes to reach the ground. The elderly Mightyena that guard the paths move with deliberate slowness, their paws disturbing not a single loose stone. Here, time stretches like spider silk, thin and nearly invisible, yet strong enough to connect all things. The faint chime of wind through ancient burial ornaments carries the same pitch as a chimeco's cry, blending past and present into one continuous song. Far below, the ocean begins to glow as lanterns rise toward the surface, their bioluminescence triggered by the increasing angle of sunlight through water. This daily ascent creates a chain reaction. Small fish follow the light, which attracts larger predators, which in turn stir up nutrients that feed the coral reefs. Marine biologists call this the lantern effect, a perfect example of how one Pokemon's routine sustains an entire ecosystem. The light penetrates only so far before fading into the depths, where unseen currents carry the promise of day to creatures that will never surface. And so the cycle continues, the slow blink of Staryu in tidal pools, the drowsy sway of Blossom in dawn's first breeze, the contented sighs of Slakoth high in their branches. Every creature, every leaf, every grain of sand rests in its rightful place. The world holds you as gently as a swablu holds its egg, as patiently as a bagan waits for wings. There's no need to grasp or hurry. Only breathe and trust in the turning. Let go and be carried. The night is deep and morning is far away. Sleep, just sleep. All is well.